Hi, my name's Kyle, and this is Track by Track, music reviews, news, and commentary. After a 5-year break, Las Vegas rockers The Killers have returned. Their 5th album is entitled Wonderful, Wonderful, which, you know, sets the bar kind of high before the first song even starts. And of course, it just begs for music critics to use a play on words when describing it. The album's so good it deserves a 3rd Wonderful. Or maybe it should have been called Dreadful, Dreadful. Or maybe it's somewhere in the middle. Just one wonderful would suffice. For my review, though, I'll do my best not to take the bait. I'll let you know what I think of Wonderful, Wonderful by The Killers coming up in just a minute. Now, home base for The Killers is, of course, Las Vegas, a city that is legendary around the world, or perhaps even notorious. And whether you're taking in the spectacle of the Las Vegas Strip or the nostalgia of old Las Vegas on Fremont Street, you'll be surrounded by iconic casinos. Coming up after the review, I'll have the latest edition of a segment called Top 5, where I'll reveal the top 5 Las Vegas casinos. Did your favorite make the list? Stick around and find out. I remember when Hot Fuss by The Killers came out in 2004, and it just blew me away. I picked up the album on the strength of the first single, which was Somebody Told Me. Great track. And then you put on the album and you get one of the most perfect, side ones of any album. Those first 5 tracks, Jenny Was a Friend of Mine, Mr. Brightside, Smile Like You Mean It, Somebody Told Me, and all of these things that I've done, man, that's just about a perfect song cycle. No doubt Hot Fuss is a front-loaded album, but there's still enough good songs on the second half to maintain classic status. Hot Fuss is one of the best debut albums of the millennium. Then in 2006, The Killers' sophomore album came out. Sam's Town showed the band evolving and taking risks with their sound. Again, the album was front-loaded with its best songs in the first half, but it's still an exceptionally strong effort. I can't say the same for Day and Age in 2008. On their 3rd album, The Killers seem to have embraced a more dancey, disco-esque sound more than ever before. It isn't an album I'm compelled to pull out very often, and every time I do, I remember why I don't. So The Killers went on hiatus for 4 years before returning with Battleborn. A lot of people didn't like this album, but for me, this was both a return to form for The Killers as well as being their most mature set of songs to date. Now, The Killers have occasionally been criticized for ripping off Bruce Springsteen on the sound of some of their songs, and I have to ask, is that such a bad thing? Springsteen is one of rock's greatest storytellers, and if The Killers aspire to that level of songcraft, more power to them. Listen to Runaways, the first single from Battleborn. There's not a more Springsteen-esque song out there by The Killers or any other artist. But what does it say that that song still stands strong in the shadow of Born to Run? The same goes for Miss Atomic Bomb and especially A Matter of Time. Yes, The Killers are channeling Springsteen on Battleborn, but the way they swap out a blue-collar New Jersey perspective for Las Vegas gloss and grime gives the album its own unique viewpoint. I think they'd make the boss proud. Now it's been 5 years since their last album, and The Killers have once again emerged with new music. Does album number 5 pick up where they left off, or do they have any new tricks up their sleeves? Let's dig in. Wonderful, Wonderful kicks off with its title track. Oddly, this is a side 2 track 1 song if I ever heard one. Weird choice for an opening song. But I really do like the percussion here and the driving bass line too. One of the other bands The Killers are occasionally accused of copying is U2, and that's a pretty obvious comparison on this song. Both the vocals and the lyrics sound like Bono, in fact especially considering the spiritual themes. As the song chugs toward its conclusion, the guitars get particularly noisy, almost violent sounding. I'm not sure that contrasting sound fits with the lyrical sentiments, but I do like how it sounds. The tone changes drastically on track 2. Here we get the Killers back in the disco mode from their Day and Age album. The Man is a song that actually sounds a lot like recent Arcade Fire. In fact, with this song, I think you could even say the Killers do Arcade Fire better than Arcade Fire does Arcade Fire. Now, obviously with lyrics like, I've got news for you, baby, you're looking at the man, and then, baby, I'm gifted, you see what I mean? USDA certified lean. This isn't a song that's intended to be taken seriously. The bravado is way over the top. And I have to say, it's a fun song. Utterly ridiculous, and I wouldn't want a whole album of this. But on its own, The Man is hard to resist. So we're 2 tracks into Wonderful, Wonderful, and I'm not sure what kind of band The Killers are in 2017. Track 3 doesn't make things any clearer. On Rut, the band sounds like they're submitting a song for a montage in some cheesy 80s romance movie. Seriously, didn't I hear this song in St. Elmo's Fire? with its wishy-washy "Don't Give Up on Me" chorus, I'm suddenly wondering, what happened to the man? And as the song winds down, the lyric repeats, "I'll climb and I'll climb," over and over until the metaphor has just been beaten to death. Things improve a little bit on Life to Come. Here the band is back in U2 mode, maybe more than on any song they've ever done. I mean, if you played the chorus to this song to someone and didn't tell them it was the Killers, they'd seriously think this was a new song from the upcoming U2 album. You'd swear it was Bono singing. And again, it's not just the vocals. The guitar sound is totally the edge. But here's the thing. Yeah, this song is totally U2. But on a U2 album, this song would be exactly what it is on the Killers album, and that's filler. Is it a bad song? No, not at all. It's an okay song, bordering on good, but again, what is the band trying to be? Next is Run for Cover, and this song finds the Killers back in familiar Killers territory. Musically, this song would have fit well on Sam's Town or maybe even Hot Fuss. It's an up-tempo dance track but with guitars front and center, and the guitars are great on this song. In particular, I really like the guitar solo at the end. Lyrically, Brandon Flowers is in storyteller mode, which is always a good place for him. If I have any complaints about this song, and it's a small one, it's that this is the second song on the album to use a false stop. Now that's clever once maybe, but a second time it's kind of annoying. On Tyson vs. Douglas, the Killers again revisit the sound from a previous album, and this time, unfortunately, it's Day and Age again. This song is a clone of Spaceman, which wasn't a good song to begin with. There's a nice droning reverb-washed guitar solo on the bridge, I'll say that much. Otherwise, in spite of drawing its inspiration from two legendary boxers, this song is a lightweight at best. Some Kind of Love comes next, and I hope you like Coldplay because this is totally Coldplay. And I'm not knocking Coldplay here, but when you record a track that is blatantly similar to one of your contemporaries, it's really distracting. As I've said before, the Killers have been accused of copying Springsteen, but at least when they do that, they create something that sounds fresh. And I guess Some Kind of Love does sound fresh, because it could literally be on the very latest Coldplay album. But in the same way that Life to Come would have been filler on a U2 album, Some Kind of Love would have been forgettable on a Coldplay album. And it's forgettable here too. Things don't improve on Out of My Mind. This song slips back into the 80s mode we heard on Rut, but at least on that song I could visualize young Andrew McCarthy and Demi Moore in the video. Here, I've got nothing. Out of My Mind sounds like the second single from a one-hit wonder. And if that wasn't bad enough, we get lyrics like, "So I told you about McCartney, that's a heavy name to drop." You got that right. It's as if Brandon Flowers is shamelessly trying to justify why we should continue to care about his band. He sings, "Went back to back with Springsteen, you turned and rolled your eyes." Okay, well, that last lyric does ring true, I'll grant that. Now at this point, I'm sure you're thinking what I'm thinking. You know what would really turn things around on this album? A guest appearance by Woody Harrelson. What, you weren't thinking that? Woody opens track 9 with an ominous spoken word Bible verse before the beat drops and the band launches into Personal Jesus. Oh wait, the song is actually The Calling. But seriously, if I'm Depeche Mode, I'm calling my lawyers about this one. Everything about this song is stolen from Personal Jesus, from the beat to the dirty guitars to the spiritual themes. Ironically, I actually kind of enjoy the song because, for better or worse, it's one of the most musically interesting tracks on this album, but it's totally stolen. And it answers the question of the final track on Wonderful, Wonderful. Have all the songs been written? I guess they have. The Killers wrap up the album with another forgettable Coldplay-esque song. In the first verse, they ask the question, has all the gas been siphoned? I think clearly the answer is yes, and the Killers are running on an empty tank. And that kind of sums up the whole album. I think the Killers' best days are clearly behind them at this point. They don't have anything new to say, so they're either phoning it in or they're cloning other artists' songs and sounds. We got a few good songs with Run for Cover, Wonderful, Wonderful, and dare I say, The Man. But even if I enjoy songs like Life to Come or The Calling, it's more for the better bands they remind me of than the songs themselves. This album is easily the weakest in the Killers' catalog, and I thought Day and Age was pretty weak. So I'm giving Wonderful, Wonderful by the Killers an X rating of 4 out of 10. It's not wonderful. Feel free to insert your own pun on the title in the comments section below. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, it's well known that the Killers hail from Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. It's kind of funny to me to think that people actually live in Las Vegas. I mean, of course, people live there, but in my mind, it's more of a place that you just visit, as I've done 3 times in recent years. And each time I've been there, I've stayed at one of the big casinos right on the strip, right in the heart of the action. I'm sure many of you watching have done the same, and you probably have your own favorite casinos. So for today's top 5, I'll share with you the top 5 Las Vegas casinos as rated by travelers. At number 5 on the list, it's the Paris Casino with a big Eiffel Tower out front. At number 4 is the Palazzo. Number 3, the Venetian. At number 2 on the list is the casino with one of the best spectacles on the Strip. I'm talking about the fantastic fountains at the Bellagio. And finally, the casino rated number 1 by travelers is the Wynn Hotel and Casino. I've lost money in each casino on this list, but the hotel at the Wynn is the only one I've actually stayed at. So what do you think about the list? Was your favorite included? Be sure to let me know and leave your casino of choice down in the comments section below. Once again, my name's Kyle and this is Track by Track, music reviews, news, and commentary. If you like what you see, please be sure to click the old thumbs up icon. Plus, be sure to check out some of these other videos and reviews from my channel. And of course, be sure to click subscribe because true music fans always want new releases the day they come out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.